Welcome to Architrave Gaming. I'm the Archmaster. I request your help naming my system. Okay, so the problem with the current name, Arches and Avatars, really, the old name, is that in my system, it's not a game anymore. It is a system. It is more like a game engine or a game system. So something like Unreal Engine or the PlayStation 5, right? It's kind of a combination. It's not a game itself. You still have to take a game and stick it in one of those, right? So what I mean by that is something like Shadow Dark. It's a system, right? But it also has a clear objective of what you're doing when you use the system, right? A game consists of rules and an objective, right? So something like Shadow Dark, Dungeons and Dragons, they provide both. They say, here are the rules and here's the objective, right? My system only provides the rules. It is a simulation system. Here's how much health an elf has. Here's how far you can walk in a day. Here's how much damage a sword does, a longsword, etc. It's just gives you the building blocks. You get to decide the game that you play. And of course, we intend to present many options of games, like in the core rule book and supplement books, etc. So we're not going to leave you hanging. But you could choose to play Dungeons and Dragons. You could choose to go into a dungeon and kill the monsters there and bring their treasure out back to town and sell it to get better loot and then go back into another dungeon. That can be your game loop, right? You can choose that, but you don't have to. The system itself does not require you to go into dungeons. Likewise, you could become a dragon rider or a dragon slayer, or you could conquer towns and wage wars with armies and whatnot. You could travel to other planes. You could open up a quaint bakery and just, run a business all day. You can do anything you want in the system. The world itself, the system simulates the world and says, you're a person in the world. You're not an adventurer. It's not so gamey and gamism. It's just, you're here. It's immersive. It's real. You're a person in the world. You're, however old you are. What do you do in this world, right? It's very open. Of course, that can lead to chaos unless you actually rein everyone in, but that's where the game comes in. The group decides, okay, we have this system that doesn't demand a game, but we want to play a certain game. Here's the game that we play with this system, right? And the reason we're calling it that, and the reason why we're using this vocabulary, is so that people are very intentional about what they play. Because we see it too much in modern day, especially 5e, where there's this implicit assumption that D&D is a game, when D&D is really just a system. It suggests a couple of games, dungeon delving, monster slaying, that's pretty much it. It suggests a couple of games, but so many people play D&D and use the system, but they're really not playing the same game. Or they're not even declaring what game they're playing. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing D&D. It's like, all right, well, you're using the system. I mean, that's like saying I'm playing the PlayStation. It's like, well, what game are you actually playing with that system, right? The rule book itself doesn't demand a game, right? So anyway, long-winded way of saying, because we see it as it is, that the system itself is not a game, that you have to choose the game that you play with the system, we need a name that reflects that fact. And so it can't be something like Arches and Avatars, because that is one of the games that you could play with this system, but it is not required. Arch is something like, like the Archmage, the Archbishop, the Archdruid, right? It means the best, max level. And so the term Arches, it's like, oh, can you be a 10th level, 20th level, mage, druid, etc.? Can you become an arch? And so that's why Arches is there, among other things. And then Avatars, in the game, you're able to become an avatar, right? Through various methods and whatnot. So those are two big, lofty goals and objectives that you could choose, but you don't have to. So I don't want to name the game Arches and Avatars and imply that that's the point of the game when it's really not. It's very open-ended. You can have whatever game loop you decide. And again, we'll give you like a dozen options. We'll list them out for you, all the things you can do. But again, the system itself does not require those. It is just a system. So we need a name that reflects the fact that it is just a system. And so, boy, long-winded video. I think only my faithful core viewers are actually going to watch this, but I guess you're the ones that I want opinions from. Okay, so an explanation as to what the names are that we're about to show you that we've been thinking about. Here's why we've been thinking about these names. The world itself, the world of Absalom, technically the setting of Colin Arch, it was made when you have a dream world at first, right? And there are all these dream beings in it. They aren't technically elves, but we'll call them dream elves instead of dream beings, right? Because they were the progenitors of the elves later. Anyway, these dream elves were in the dream world, and they were just living it up. In a dream world, everything's perfect. You can imagine something, and it becomes real. And so one of these days, someone decided, hey, let's let's make something real. I mean, this is all fake. It's all a dream. Let's make something awake. And so they combined a bunch of they combined all of the elements, earth, air, water, and fire, and they combined Ethereum, which is soul, and Starlight, which is intelligence, and then narrative and words, and they combined it all into one thing. And then they used something that they found and created called Wakestone. Working name. They found this waking substance thing, and they crafted it, and they're like, let's apply this to this thing. And they applied all the waking energy to this dream substance, and the dream substance turned to the first fully waking substance in the world, blood. Blood is fully awake, it is fully real, and it is not a dream, right? So they made this blood, and they're like, this is awake. This is different from everything else in the world. Like, it's contorting reality. Like, this thing is awake. And so they're like, there's so much potential. We can have real bodies, waking bodies. We can be living. Whereas right now we're just dreams. We're not actually alive. We can be alive. And so they started giving themselves bodies, and then they started making new bodies and imbuing it with soul and whatnot. They created humans, as well as a few other races with, flesh and blood and all that. And then after a while, after, like 600 years of history, actually, no, not that long. Anyway, after a while, there are these 12 humans called the 12 Immortals, the 12 Archons, and they did such a good job that they were given immortality, and then they eventually decided, hey, we're the waking ones in this dream world, and we have our dream overlords that just keep us bound in this dream world. We are made of flesh and blood. We are real. We are awake, but we're forced to live in this dream. We want to wake up. We want the world to wake up. We want to live in a waking world. So they went to the heart of the dream, what I call the core. And they took their blood, and all 12 immortals shed their immortal blood into the core of the world, and they woke up the entire dream. There are bits of remnants that are still, dreamy, but they woke up the dream and turned it into the material plane, right? Of course, you can call it that. I call it the waking dream. Or, in Greek, ichni means wake, and oniro, like oniric, means dream. So waking dream, ichniro. Instead of the material plane, we call it the ichniro, the waking dream. Okay, so anyway, they turned the world into the waking dream, and that's the planet you're on. That's your material plane. It's your ichniro. It's, the waking world. And it's literally made of blood. Like, the world has arteries and veins in it and a heart in the center, and blood pumps out. And when blood rivers go to the surface, the first real native-born humans, not ones made by elves artificially, the first real humans emerge from the pools of blood, and they're like, oh, we're in this world, right? It's all very dark and visceral and bloody and whatnot. And then the 12 immortals are guiding the humans, and then there are so many conflicts with the elves who are like, you woke up our dream world, how dare you? And then some of the waking affected the elves themselves, or the dream elves, and made them, it forcefully woke them up. And the dream elves themselves don't have flesh and blood, so they're just a dream made real, but they don't have any flesh and substance to them. So what when they're forcefully turned like this, they're what I call the withered elves. So it's like a mannequin. It's like a soul and a mind possessing mannequin. They have no flesh. Sorry, they have this, like, bony old desiccated flesh. They have no blood. They aren't technically alive. They're just like, I'm this mannequin thing forced to be real. How dare you? Like, they're super angry, and a lot of elves employ various methods to keep themselves alive. Anyway, it's super dark and visceral, and there's so much animosity, and it's a really cool setting. But anyway, all that to say, the world itself is a waking dream. And it's the blood of these immortals, the Archon's blood, that woke up the dream, right? So that is the world, okay? That's what the system itself actually simulates, emulates, etc. So I don't want to call it arches and avatars, because you don't have to pursue, being the best or becoming an avatar. What you can't get away from is the fact that you are in a waking dream. Okay, that is the setting. That's the world. That's what you're in, right? And of course, you can homebrew and play in your own settings and whatnot. But it's kind of, it's still there, right? You're still in a waking dream. And guess what? There's a cool, like, a little offshoot here, a cool double meaning to it, because guess what? When we're all sitting around the table, imagining this world, it's literally a waking dream. It's a daydream that we're all imagining. The Greek word for dream is fantasia. The Greek word for imagination is fantasia. The Greek word for fantasy is fantasia. It's all the same thing. A daydream or a night dream or imagination, it's all the word fantasia. It's the same thing. It's a dream. So we are literally having a waking dream at the table when we're with our friends. So when I say, hey, here's the system, it's, well, I guess I'm going to give it away now. It's waking dreams or something like that. It's like, oh, that's what happens in the world, and it's what we're experiencing. I think it's cool. Anyway, here are the first four big main names that I'm considering past arches and avatars, okay? Blood of Dreams. That I like that one so much. It's so visceral and just to me it's punchy. To me, it's like Blood of Dreams. Like that's it's better than Waking Dreams. Okay, Waking Dreams, that's a thing, but Blood of Dreams, it's like, but dreams don't bleed, right? And so there's a, Waking Dreams. It's, I guess, a kind of a verb or an adjective or something. It's just like, it's kind of passive. Oh, waking dreams, dreams that wake. Okay, that's kind of a process or an activity. But Blood of Dreams, now that's a thing. The game is about the blood, right? And of course, blood heavily features in the game. It's how you get your class. You sacrifice your blood to an Archon, and then you get your mantle and whatnot. So, but blood appears everywhere. It's actually part of the mechanics and whatnot. You can kill enemies and take their essence, which is their blood, and upgrade and all sorts of stuff. So, I like Blood of Dreams, but it seems, as much as I like it, it seems too simple, too by itself, too generic, right? You see it on the shelf, Blood of Dreams. Okay, blood of what dreams? Blood of gray dreams, blood of dead dreams, blood of agony dream. Like, it seems like it needs another word. Blood of what dreams, right? And so, blood of waking dreams. What about that? Blood of waking dreams. That's literally what's going on. The world is the blood, like the planet is made of blood, and you as characters are made of blood. The blood of waking dreams. Sounds perfect. It's just really long. It barely fits on the character sheet. You'd have to have super tiny, right? So, I like Blood of Waking Dreams. It's accurate, but it's really long. Some other people suggested Dreams Blood. I like it. It's shorter, it's concise, but it seems a little too short. It's not evocative. It's like Blood of Dreams, Dreams Blood, okay, but it still lacks, blood of what dreams? What dreams blood? Dead dreams blood? Something else? And then the one that we've come up with most recently that we really, really, really liked, and then we told it to other people, and other people shoot it down again. So it's like, all right, I'm going to go to my audience. I'm going to go to my viewers. Bloods of Ikniro. Again, Ikniro is the waking dream. It's the material plane. So we already have Blood of Waking Dreams in Blood of Ikniro. It's just shortened, and it sounds more like a fantasy word. It's two Greek words. Some people even told me it sounded Japanese, which is fine. It's, foreign, Japanese, Greek. It's exotic either way. If you're just an American and you hear the Ikniro, cool. It's an exotic, cool word. But one of the reasons we really like the plural in bloods is because if you say Blood of Ikniro, Blood of Dreams, Blood of Waking Dreams, it's like, okay, cool. But bloods of anything, Bloods of Ikniro, Bloods of Waking Dreams, bloods implies plurality. There's multiple, and it's the plural for blood is not commonly used. Bloods is not really commonly used, and so it stands out, and it makes you wonder, what is, how can there be multiple bloods of this thing? What does that mean? It makes you wonder, makes you curious, right? At least I hope. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And also, it's easier to say, oh yeah, I'm going to go play this new RPG called Bloods. Or, do you want to go play Bloods with me? That sounds better than, do you want to go play Blood? Like, oh yeah, I go play Blood. Bloods, it sounds more like an actual thing you're talking about. Again, because Bloods is not commonly used, it tells the brain, oh, he's talking about something else, not just blood. So I like Bloods of Ikniro. It's personal, it's brandable. Ikniro is the world. It means waking dream. But no one knows what Ikniro means. I have to explain it. It's Greek, and it's two Greek words that technically, it's not one word, it's an amalgam. So if the real question is, if you saw these 4 books on the shelf at a game store, Blood of Dreams, Blood of Waking Dreams, Dreams Blood, and Bloods of Ikniro, which would you gravitate toward? What is good about these? What is bad about these? What would you suggest out of these? Because these are my top 4. I really like these. But they all have their problems. I like Bloods of Ikniro, and if I just get enough people to tell me, yeah, it's a great name, don't worry about it, I'll do it, right? But again, I'm open to feedback. There are 2 more that I don't think are going to be super great, but they're worth mentioning. Archon's Blood. The 12 Archons shed their blood to make the world, so you could call it Archon's Blood. But that is, I think, the least of all of them, because it doesn't really tell you anything about it. Archon's Blood, okay. It doesn't have dreams, it doesn't have waking, it doesn't have anything that I think is evocative. It's just Archon's Blood. And then Dreamwake. Again, kind of like Dreams Blood, or if you just make it one word, Dream Blood. Dreamwake, doesn't really tell you anything about the setting. It's not evocative enough. So, anyway, Blood of Dreams is punchy and nice, but it lacks a modifier. It lacks pizzazz, flavor, tone. Blood of Dreams, there's no tone to it. Blood of Waking Dreams, that's cool. You could say something like Blood of Lamenting Dreams, or Blood of Keening Dreams, or Wailing Dreams, but that seems just long. Dreams Blood, short and quick. Bloods of Ikniro, I really like. Anyway, I would very, very much like to have your opinion on this, my faithful viewers. And thank you to all the people at the convention at LongCon this year for telling me, Arches and Avatars is a bad name. Sounds like a D&D ripoff. No one knows what it. I had players say, "Is it a game about archers?" Oh no, it's arches. Is it a game about architecture? It's like, okay, I really need to change the name if it's that not clear at all. So anyway, these are my options for now. If any of you can suggest a banger name, I'll consider it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave your comments below. Please let me know what you think of these, if they were to go on a shelf, all of that. Because the name, I want it to be important and cool and punchy and whatnot, but the setting and the content of the book and the playability is far more important. The name has to be something that you like. The name has to be something that captures you, right? Not necessarily something that I like. So yeah, please give your opinion, because your opinion is the one that matters. And thank you for watching. God bless.